In today's video, you're trying to go from looking like this to looking like this. Let's talk about a 1,000 calorie per day deficit to reach your goals. Hey guys, what's going on? This is Paul Ravella from ProPhysique.com. In today's video, I got a topic that's, kind of a controversial, kind of a hot topic, but the idea around setting up a caloric deficit to reach your goals, especially with all the information we have out there. And today's question comes from right here on my Instagram direct message. Now, the goal behind my Instagram direct message questions is I want to know the questions you guys have. Guys, I've done over 1,300 videos. I've kind of answer a lot of questions, but I love to know what people are thinking. And so this is something that comes up every so often. And most people understand that I am someone who likes to take a rather kind of methodical approach to fat loss to ensure that we are keeping muscle and also that we're getting body fat off and we're able to keep it off, okay? We've all heard the horror stories of the people from like a TV show like The Biggest Loser or anyone that's gone through a very rapid fat loss transformation and put it all back and maybe even more. So we're gonna talk about the goods, why you should do it, and the bads, why you shouldn't do it. So let me answer the question. Hi Paul, wondering what the downsides are of cutting too aggressively and what makes it unsustainable for most people, say 1,000 calorie per day. Okay, first, let's talk about the positives of an aggressive 1,000 calorie diet, then we'll get into the negatives because I think they'll kind of play off each other. The benefits of being very aggressive at the beginning is that when we start a fat loss phase, like the people that enter, let's say, our transformation challenge, right? We have another transformation challenge starting in July and we give away a lot of money. And when you enter something like that, or you enter a fat loss phase, or you decide you're gonna do a bodybuilding show, whatever your goal for losing a lot of body fat, your motivation is highest when? Day one. You're fired up. You're making changes to your diet. You're making changes to your training. You're making promises to yourself about your lifestyle that you're going to change to reach your goals. So it makes sense that you be a little bit more aggressive at the beginning. That 1,000 calorie number that you're saying though, that is quite aggressive. So how do you come to that? Well, a lot of us now wear fitness trackers. Okay, so you can actually look at your watch and it'll say that you're burning X amount of calories based on your age, your weight, your activity level, your NEAT, your exercise. But a lot of that is a calculation, right? A lot of those numbers are just kind of assumed. We can't actually know for sure that we're in 1,000 calorie deficit unless we live in a metabolic ward, which none of us are doing. And that's where they feed you, they track all of your measurements throughout the day. Sometimes they even track all of your breathing throughout the day. None of us have that luxury, right? So when we're talking about 1,000 calorie a day deficit, let's just say you're doing a lot of cardio, you're tracking your basal metabolic rate, and you've figured out your macros, right? Maybe you're using our free online calculator, you've gotten a setup where your macros, and you know you're in a deficit. 1,000 calories a day is quite aggressive, not only because it's going to cause a change to your lifestyle from the get-go that is going to be hard to maintain, but because what I worry about is the restrictive nature and the long-term adaptations that are going to happen from being so restrictive. The real problem with weight loss is not weight losing, right? Anybody can lose weight. All of us have gone through periods where like, man, we just make a couple simple changes. Maybe we get a new job and we're walking more. Maybe we get a new job, or maybe we lose our job so we're not going out to lunch. Whatever it is, simply changing our caloric intake and our caloric output, we've noticed that we can lose weight. Weight loss isn't the hard part. Sustaining weight loss is really the hard part. And this is where the skill of weight loss comes in. We've all heard the adage, eat less and move more. That is probably the most moronic thing that someone can say to someone that's trying to lose weight. We all know that. But how much more should you move? How much less should you eat? And in fact, you might be able to eat more. And before you shake your head, I don't mean more calories, I might mean more volume, right? You can actually have more volume to your food and take in less calories, and satiety is a big part of this. So when we're talking about 1,000 calorie deficit, I think we all have a picture of what we're eating. Boiled chicken, broccoli, oatmeal, things that, while are great foods, we immediately assume we have to cut out foods that we enjoy. This and this alone can be a big detriment to people, because what happens when people are too aggressive in a fat loss diet is that when they break hard. What do I mean by that? Well, it's Thursday afternoon, you've been on low calories and a bunch of cardio and training your ass off for 4 days, you're exhausted, you're tired, you had a hard day at work, you come home and you just go balls deep into a pint of ice cream, and guess what happens? You say, well, it's Thursday, I had all that ice cream, I'm just gonna go ahead and go hard for a couple days and I'm gonna start back fresh on Monday. Not only did you undo what you did for those first 4 days, which is probably not too much, but you've set yourself up for another week of starting over. Instead of saying, you know what, I've had a hard day, let me include something like ice cream into my macros. And instead of thinking that you broke, you simply scoop some ice cream in a bowl, you hit your numbers, and while it might not be the greatest food of all time for you to look the best you can do, if it helps you psychologically, I would argue that it's healthier than broccoli, okay? Yes, ice cream is healthier than broccoli if it helps you stay on your diet. Because the psychology around dieting is just as important as the physiology. Yes, we know these foods that have tons of micronutrients, tons of fiber, make us very full, are great, but there is value in calorically dense foods that we enjoy. Eating is meant to be an enjoyable thing. So is the social aspect. And if you completely change your lifestyle to the point where you can no longer recognize it, it's going to be a lot harder to sustain, okay? So this 1,000-calorie deficit approach to dieting, while it may be exciting and it may be possible at the beginning, these are the people that when they're told to run a mile in gym class, they start out sprinting and they get way ahead of everybody else. But who actually wins the mile? The people that just start off at a steady pace. The sprinter is going to die out, they're going to end up walking, and the jogger is going to make it all the way around multiple times without as much fatigue. So this is a lot of the reason why, when it comes to fat loss, I would much rather err on the side of caution, meaning I would much rather include refeed days. If you didn't watch my video from yesterday, I'll show you exactly how I do a refeed, and I included things like, off the top of my head, I know I had some Pop-Tarts, but things that I enjoy and things that I look forward to. I also did a full day of eating a couple of weeks ago with my low carb day, so you can go back and watch that and get an idea. My diet is based around sustainability, okay? You might look at it and think, man, you shouldn't eat Pop-Tarts when you diet. No, I should eat Pop-Tarts when I diet because I have proven that this method is successful for me. Does that mean everyone should eat Pop-Tarts? No, but it does mean that you should include the foods that you value the most, okay? Culturally, maybe there's things that most of us think this isn't a good diet food, but it allows you to sustain your diet and allows you to reach your goals. That is going to be the best approach, okay? So again, if you guys have no idea where to start, I have a free beginner's guide on my website. It's a free download. It includes nutrition and training programs. We also have a transformation challenge coming up that provides you with nutrition plans, training plans, a support group, and guided coaching if you would like that. But more than anything, I want to provide value with you through these videos. So ask me questions, go to my Instagram direct message, and yes, a 1,000 calorie deficit sounds aggressive. It may actually be appropriate at certain times of the diet, but you need to understand the harder you push, the more you're going to push back psychologically, physiologically. So plan in some breaks, plan in some free meals. I don't like the word cheat meal. It implies you're doing something wrong. If you can be very aggressive for a couple days, give yourself a break, and then go again, I have no problem with that. Any approach to dieting and fat loss that works well with you, hey guys, ultimately at the end of the day, what it comes down to is, are you able to create a caloric deficit? Are you able to reach the goal that you set? And are you able to sustain it? And that's what we're doing right here, right now. And I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.